Good day, everyone, and welcome to Journey of the Anointed with Mr. Buzz. So, I'm going to talk about the isolation season. Isolation and loneliness in general, actually. So, the first thing I'll say first I'll say I just spent the whole day pretty much on this topic. When I make videos, I just hit the record button, and just talk. But that doesn't mean I haven't done a lot of research and talking to the Lord, I guess, before I make the videos. But usually not as much as what I have today. This has been a day of really digging into this topic, isolation and loneliness. So the first thing I'll say about isolation and loneliness is they're not the same thing. Some people can be isolated and not feel lonely. They don't mind it. Other people can be lonely, but not because they're isolated. They can be surrounded by people and they're still lonely. Okay, so the two things are not the same. Some people, the really unfortunate ones in this season, are isolated, and because they're isolated, they end up feeling lonely. Okay, that's the worst case scenario. That's the one I'm in. That's the situation I find myself in. And a lot of you probably do too. So there seemed to be the general consensus among people who really know this topic. General consensus is that there's three main reasons why the Lord has isolated you, if you're one of the chosen, one of the anointed. The number one reason is to set you apart and prepare you for whatever he's going to do with you. Okay? Now, I learned this today too, which I know from being in this situation, and I'm not trying to make the Lord sound like he's mean, but this is really what he feels about the situation. You're lonely and you're sad because he's isolated you? Too bad, so sad. Suck it up, buttercup. That's how the Lord feels about it. He's not going to worry about your little earthly problems. He doesn't care about them. He's done much worse things to people he's used in the past. Much worse than what he's doing to you, probably, and what he's doing to me. And he's not even really considering that. It's not a factor to him. He's got a divine plan. He's got a reason he's doing this. And your earthly desires don't mean squat to him, to be quite honest. I'm going to be as honest and straightforward here as I can be. This is a conclusion I firmly came to today. Too bad, so sad, suck it up, buttercup. That's the words I hear in my head when, when I'm in deep interaction with the Lord about this. He's a little mad at me today, actually, which I understand why he is, and it's not the first time he's been mad at me. Anyway, that's the number one reason. He's preparing you. He's setting you apart. He's changing your appetite. That's why a lot of you are finding out. I had one person say, "Hey, I watched your video. Great talk. I don't even think I'm anointed, but you were talking about how all of a sudden you won't be able to handle the same people anymore. That they're going to annoy you. They're going to be at a different level than you are now. You're vibrating at a higher frequency, and they're still in the same low frequency place they were before. So you're having a hard time even being around them. Yeah, that's the Lord is changing your appetite. So this is part of the number one reason, okay? You're being prepared. You're being set apart. He's changing your appetite. You're going to lose your friends. You're going to lose your whole everything that you're used to. It's going to just fade away in the distance. You're not going to want to do the same things. You're not going to go to the same places. You're not going to have the same friends. The same entertainment won't entertain you anymore. Maybe you used to watch horror movies. Now horror movies are going to suck to you. You're going to be like, why did I ever watch those? I can't believe I ever watched those. He's going to shake that stuff out of you. That's the number one thing he's doing, okay? That's number one. Number two, he's going to reveal what it is that he's using you for and equip you for it. He's getting you ready. I mean, he's changed your appetite. He's getting rid of the bad habits in the first reason I already gave you. But now he's also, we're going to take it further. He knows what your divine purpose is, what he's using you for. He's going to start revealing that to you, and he's going to start equipping you for it. So he's going to teach you. They call it colleging. Okay, the Lord is colleging you. You're going to chosen one college, basically. And it's wild curriculum, I'll tell you. Some of what he's put me through, as far as the colleging is concerned, it's just, like I made a video about the ring that I found the other day, and what that entailed by the time it was all over, is about a 24-hour ordeal that involved a demonic attack and me going on a long walk to the lake to get rid of the evil thing, and just all kinds of tests and different stuff. The colleging, that's number two. And also just revealing to you what he's using you for. And he's going to use you. He doesn't care if you want it or not. He's chosen you for it. You don't want to be used? Too bad. He's God. You're not. You're his servant. Okay, I'm gonna be very straightforward and honest about this. And the Lord is okay with me putting it that way, because that's the truth. He's not playing around. What he's using you for, he's using you for. If you don't like it, too damn bad. That's the way it is. Too bad for you. Too bad for me. I'm not necessarily happy about this, but this is the way it is, okay? So I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Like I said, I spent all day on this, and these are the conclusions I've come to. Reason number 3. Finally, something a little more positive. He wants to elevate you. He's using you, and in order to use you, he's got to elevate you. You're going to have more influence. You're going to have more, you're going to get more respect. You're going to have, you'll get your blessings. You'll get some resources. You won't be stuck in poverty. You might even get a relationship. It's hard to say what he's going to give you, but finally you'll be elevated this is the third reason, okay? He's going to elevate you. That's the 3 reasons that he's isolated you in the first place. He needs to prepare, equip, and finally elevate. That's what he's after. That's what he's doing with you. And like I say, if you don't like it, too bad. He doesn't care. He really doesn't. If you give him a hard time and you resist, you'll just slow it down. You'll be longer in isolation. He'll just leave you there longer. That's what's already happened to me. I've resisted. I fought back a little bit. And here I am 9 years. So I'm going to give you a warning not to do that. You'll end up like me, near a decade and still here. Suck it up, Buttercup. Now, not everybody ends up in the same situation during isolation. I got it pretty good in one way. He gave me a real nice house to live in here, obviously. I mean, you look around, you can see I have this big house all to myself. Me and my cats. It's a big house. And it's really nice, and it's all for me. I've been here for years alone. I shouldn't even be able to afford this house, but I have a special deal that I know the Lord arranged. I mean, he did look after me good. I'm very grateful for that. He knows I'm grateful for that. He could have put me in a tiny little rooming house, a little box I could be living in or something, right? I mean, I've got a big, huge backyard and front yard. I've got gardens. I can grow my own food in the summertime. I've got it really good that way. But at the same time, I'm in a town I just can't stand. He put me in this town for various reasons that I don't think I'll ever understand. And I don't have a car, and I have to walk everywhere I go. Doesn't matter if it's raining. It's Canada, so wintertime really rough to get around. Being isolated with no car, and he doesn't want me to work or get a job, or he wants me in poverty, pretty much, which I've been for a long time now. That's how he wants it. He does not want me to have resources yet. Some people, that's not the case. He will see. I had to overcome drug addictions and things. So a person that's overcoming drug addictions, are you going to give them a lot of money? They can overcome their drug addictions a lot better when they're poor. It's that simple, right? It's that simple. Logic will tell you. That's my own fault for having addictions. Someone who doesn't have addictions, well, you might get more resources because he's not worried about you running out and drinking and doing drugs and everything else, right? So, as I say, not everybody has the same situation during the isolation season. And for some people, the isolation's great. They love it. They love it. Sometimes he'll let you have a YouTube channel and make lots of money while you're in isolation. That's not something I'm allowed to do. I'm allowed to have the YouTube channel, but it's definitely not allowed to be successful. He's been very clear on that. Not yet, maybe someday in the future, but right now, nope. Nope, he doesn't want it to be. He doesn't really want me to have very much at all. He's been very clear. I am to be isolated, poor, and quiet. I'm not to have very much going for me at all right now. He's got his reasons. I'm not happy about them, but they're his reasons, and like I say, he's Lord and I'm not. And today is the day that I finally, I know that. I've always known that. I'm not saying I ever thought any differently, really, but spending the whole day on this topic was a good thing for me because I really see it for what it is now. And that's why I'm making this video. I know there's somebody else out there going through a similar thing. One person left a comment today that I know he's going through a similar thing. The comment told me he is. So the best thing is to not fight it. This is what it means to surrender to the Lord. This is what it means. You might as well surrender because you're going to lose if you don't. You're going to totally lose, right? He's Lord, you're not. Your best bet is to surrender to his will, what he wants. If he wants to isolate you, and he wants you poor, and he wants you to not even see another human being for the next 2 years, he's going to do that, whether you like it or not. So accept it, and as I say, Suck it up, Buttercup. That's just how it is. And he isn't really concerned about your earthly desires. He's got bigger things to worry about right now. He's got a big divine plan. You're part of it. He chose you for it. And you better step up to the plate, just like I have to. It's time to forget everything else and say, okay, let's get this done. I got to get this isolation done because I can't stand it much longer, right? It's got to be, we got to get it completed. He's going to complete it no matter what. He's going to complete it no matter what. He's not going to let you die. He's not going to let anything happen to you. He's going to keep you alive. And he's going to take this to completion no matter what you think of it. This is what chosen ones have to realize. Okay? Your divine purpose, you're going to fill it, whether you want to or not. There's not a darn thing you can do to stop it. He's Lord, you're not. These are the conclusions that I came to today. After spending a whole day, I watched so many, well, there's teachers that I do really trust who did in-depth lectures on this topic. A couple of them in particular, two, and Denzamos, as I always praise him. He's done some great videos on this. But I went to more. I went to one guy that says he's an apostle. He actually calls himself an apostle. And I'll leave his video in the description, actually. If you're having trouble with isolation, he's a good guy to check out. So he's African. I don't know how to say his name. Yeah, it's a really strange name. I don't know how to pronounce it. Very, very educated dude on these matters. And there's a girl that I watch that I just came across today, actually. But I've started watching her. She's excellent too. And she was isolated and fought back at first, just like I did too. And a friend of hers straightened her out. Said, that's not going to help you. This could go badly if you keep fighting back. Don't fight it. You're going to have to surrender to it. So I'll leave her in the description too. Two teachers that'll definitely help you out if you're having trouble with this isolation thing. Thing to remember, I guess it depends on your age too. I think about the story of Sarah and Abraham. They were old and they still hadn't had the son they were promised. So they took matters into their own hands. They're like, well, but we're old. We're too old to have kids now, so we're going to have to do something about this. And it turns out the Lord can do miracles, as we know, right? So, I mean, I look at myself being the age I am now, and it's like my life is slipping away from me, and here I am, just isolated, just wasting year after year after year. But I guess your earthly existence, when you really think about it, doesn't mean squat. Really doesn't. Where you're going after this is what matters. So, I hope that's helpful to somebody who's in isolation and having a hard time with it. Because I know how hard it is for me. It's been unbelievably difficult. So if I can just help even one person out there look at it a little different, hopefully I'll be able to look at it a little different after this day spent digging into it. So there's quite a few of us out there going through the same thing. So you're not alone. You're far from being alone. I mean, you're alone, you're isolated, but you're not alone in having a hard time with your isolation. Some people don't handle it very well at all. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people. Loneliness sets in, and it's just awful for me, right? And maybe it is for you too. So my heart goes out to you if that's the case. Surrender to it. Get it done. Because at the end of it, I do trust he's going to do great things for us. We just got to get through this. And none of us know how long it's going to be. It's the uncertainty. You don't know how long it's going to be, right? That's the hard part. But it's going to be as long as he says it's going to be. That's how long it's going to be. So good luck all. And remember that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings.